All right. Welcome everybody to the Wado Radio 2014 album discussion, Google Hangout Part 1. This is the first year that we're actually doing a Google Hangout with where we're talking about the albums. I think the last time we did one of these was 2013. We did all of the top lyricists in the game. And so that was a nice, lively conversation. Right? So 2014 was a really dope year for Christian rap. It seems like there was like a dope album that came out like every week. It was amazing. So I'm real excited to kind of talk about this, and we'll be doing this tonight and tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, we'll be doing the second part of this. But obviously, as you can see, I'm joined on the line by we're missing one person. Kenny will be joining us shortly. He's actually the project manager for the team. But I got our blog editor, Michaela McIntosh, a.k.a. Lady Mac.
How y'all doing?
Reporting in from Dallas, Texas.
Sir.
Originally from Florida.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about what happened to Florida State. I know that's not your team. They're still representing your state.
Who said I was a Florida State person? You know, I might have been a Canes, Hurricanes.
Well, I'm sure you're Hurricanes. I mean, y'all wasn't even in the discussion, though. So, So, but yeah, so that's Michaela, for those of you that haven't met her. Of course, we got Sketch the journalist.
What's up? Howdy from Cut and Shoot, Texas.
Of course, you got a Houston Rockets hat on, of course.
Yeah. Harden MVP, man.
Come on, son. I'm about to break out Shane Battier on him, bro.
Oh, wow.
Don't
do it. Don't do it. And,
worst song of the year.
It was pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I think you probably were in the running for the worst Air Jordan remix.
Yes, yeah. But I paid up on a bet. That's all that mattered.
That's true. That's true. And then we got Jacob Titus, man. For all you artists that don't know Jacob, you need to get to know him because he is the one that posts all the breaking news on the site. So instead of being mad at me that your song didn't make it on the site, Jacob is your guy.
It's all me.
I just kind of threw you under the bus, bro.
It's my fault.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
I just threw you under the bus.
And I put my Twitter handle out there on the Twitter earlier today, so now they know where to find me.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So tonight we have 4 categories that we're going to be discussing. Best most slept on album. Also, best album from a new artist. Best comeback album. And then biggest surprise album. And so as we kind of go to each category, I'll talk about, what the criteria was for each one of those. And so real quick, let me read these nominees before we kind of go into it. So for best slept on album, no, you know what? I'm going to do the nominees as we go to each category. So I think that'll probably be better. Unveil them that way. So I think we should start. Let's start with best slept on album. And so what this category was this. We looked at albums that didn't chart on the Billboard charts, but we thought that they were incredibly dope. So just a simple definition, but we thought these were albums that were really slept on, that we thought people really should have paid more attention to. So here's the list of nominees. GS, that Real Talk 2, really dope album. Jafia Life, The Prophet, Scribbling Idiots, Invitation Only, Young Noah, Time, DJ Plato and Sean P, Gold Tips, and then Shaolin, Lyrical Theology 2, Doxology. So those are your nominees for Best Slept On Album. And the winner is, you know what though? I didn't talk about how we came up with these nominees. That was a nice setup, right? What we did as a team, everybody on the team, there's about 11 of us. and we basically in each one of these categories, everyone had how many choices did we do, Michaela? Two?
I think it was 2 or 3.
Yeah, two or three choices for each one, and then we basically added up, who had the most votes, and so that was kind of how we came with the nominees, and then there was a discussion on some of these about the winner, so we kind of had to argue these out internally in terms of who was the winner. So again, nominees for Best Slept On Album: GS That Real Talk 2, Defy Life the Prophet, Scribbling Idiots Invitation Only, He Sun Lee, Stereotypes, Young Noah Time, DJ Plato and Sean P. Gold Tips, Shaolin Lyrical Theology 2, Doxology, and the winner, Scribbling Idiots Invitation Only. Jacob, what were your thoughts on this album, man?
All right. Well, first of all, my thought was it was my nominee, so I was happy to get the victory on this one.
Let me interrupt
So
you
first
for a
of
minute.
all,
Is that
it was
a
actually
Shaolin
slept
poster in the
on.
background?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a precious advertising space. So.
Well, I'm just saying that was part of the nominees in this category, so I just happened to notice it.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So this Scribbling Idiots album was actually slept on. As you said in our conversation about this, we had some albums that in our list that had charted on the Billboard and everything. We had one that was nominated for a Grammy that we had talked about in this, and we decided we needed to go with one that was actually slept on. Which, to my knowledge, this album wasn't anywhere on the Billboard. It wasn't. I didn't see everybody tweeting about it. It wasn't some big hashtag that everybody was retweeting. And I just came across it on Sphere of Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So
What
it was actually slept on.
What was dope about this album to you?
First of all, the sound of it. It's mostly a boom bap album. Has some jazz and some blues feels to it, which I think is kind of a timeless sound. It's not riding some wave right now that's going to be boring to us in a year or so.
Yeah.
But I think it's a sound that we'll listen to for a long time. But it still isn't boring. They switch it up with some other stuff. But also the lineup of artists was incredible. It was a huge long list of artists with features from Propaganda, Plato. One of the other people nominated in this category was featured on the album. KJ52 was on it. One thing that actually got me hooked with this album. What's that?
I said it's got everybody on it. It's got all your Deep Space 5 members, your Scribbling Idiots dudes, your Tunnel Rats. So you've got Journey Big rapping next to K-Drama, next to KJ52, next to Theory Has It, Sev Static. All those dudes are on there.
So why did this album get slept on? I think that's the question.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think just a little under promotion. The underground scene, one, is not popular, as popular as the mainstream sound. So it's not a Reach Records type of sound. It's not in stores and that sort of thing. It's mostly kind of a website centric. You got to kind of know about it to hear about it. I actually bought a copy. They did a DJ Aslan mixtape, and you didn't actually buy it on a cassette tape. And that's the copy that I bought is actually a cassette tape that I play in my car, which still has a tape player. But it's kind of a retro feel to the whole thing, which maybe a young generation is not checking for as much as people that have listened to underground hip hop for a while. What do you think, Jacob? Why do you think this was kind of slept on?
I agree with the promotion side. I think Sphere of Hip Hop always has this stuff featured on there, so that's where I look for it. But I didn't see it other places, and so I don't know if they weren't trying to push it to other sites or if there wasn't a long list of promotion. I just heard about it. They announced an album stream like a week before the album dropped. So then I listened to it then before it actually came out.
Wow.
I'll say too, it has an ugly cover art. it's not very impressive. It's like a storage locker with a light beam on it, and there's not much text or title to really make it interesting. So in the thousands of covers and images that you see online, it's something you could easily skip over in a day and age where image carries a lot of weight.
That's crazy. So that's like 2 strikes against the album. It didn't have the best promotion, and it had a bad cover art. But the music is incredible.
But that's why I got slept on. Yeah. I think you listen to it and you enjoy it and hear some real talented lyricism and wordplay and features that you wouldn't normally hear and that sort of thing. So
that's good. That's good. Hey, so look, for those of you just joining us, we're talking about the best albums of the year, and we actually had one of our other team members who we were waiting for to join. Kenny just hopped on, and I'm glad you turned that Michigan hat around backwards, bro. I mean, I know you just got hardball and all that, but I'm just saying, brother, like, come on, son. Come on, man. Kenny, what's up, though, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, man. Let's start off by saying.
Ohio State is rolling right now. That's what you need to be saying, brother.
Hey, we know y'all paid off them refs, bro. Come on.
You paid off the refs, man. That's that Dallas game yesterday.
Yeah, that's Dallas.
I'm still catching feelings over that, man. Let's change the subject, brother.
All right.
It still make me feel some type of way, dude. That call was kind of shady, man. Let's be real.
All right, so let's do this. Speaking of changing the subjects, let's get into our category from Best Album from a New Artist. This is another category that was interesting because I think the way that music is kind of released now is so much different than it was in the past. Like, instead of just, people doing mixtapes and then putting out an album, you also now have this thing called an EP that people are putting out as well. So what we kind of looked at in this category was we wanted to nominate artists that had never had an official, project, full-length LP sold in stores that you can buy. So, free downloads, EPs, mixtapes, if you come out with that, but never a full-length album that was for sale in stores, you were still good. But once you came out with that album, you were no longer considered a new artist. So, nominees in this category, and this is some stiff competition. But we got Belief from the Dream Junkies with his album Red Pills, Black Sugar. Uncle Reese with Bold. Jackie Hill Perry with The Art of Joy. And I don't know if her stage name is Jackie Hill Perry. Maybe it's still Jackie Hill. But you know who I'm talking about. And Spazzy Rocket with Bonfire. So that's like 4 amazing albums. This was another one. A lot of debate, conversation internally with the team. But the winner, Jackie Hill Perry, The Art of Joy. And Kenny, man, what were your thoughts on Jackie's album, bro?
Let me first start off by saying when I originally heard of Jackie, it was through the spoken word piece, right? So
okay. Yep.
In regards to her spitting, I just never put her in that category. I was like, God kind of gave you the ability to be a spoken word artist. I wasn't thinking that she was going to switch over. So this summer I heard the Same Team, and I was like, all right, yeah, she came hard, the Same Team remix. And so long story short, all that to say, when I first heard the album, man, I was blown away. I was at work, and I listened to it on Spotify, and I started off with Eshawn and The Solution with Eshawn. And I heard it, and I'm a big Eshawn fan, so she went toe to toe with Eshawn, so I was like, yeah, she's a beast, man. But like lyrically, I just love how she came. I don't feel there's one song on the whole album where she came weak at all. Every single track she came hard. You know what I mean? I love this. I love the substance that she had on the album, and lastly, I love how transparent she was. On the song "Get There." She opened up about, hey, when I got off my honeymoon, I wasn't expecting to come home and find out that I'm pregnant, but, it's crazy. So I love the transparency there. So, that's a banger, man.
Yeah, hey, real quick, I want to shout out two people that's kind of checked in the comment section. Princess Swerve, aka Naomi, and also who's the other person here? Oh man, I just messed up the comment thing. Oh man, I screwed it up. But there's somebody else in the comment section, and I just X'd out of that page by accident. But shout out to all y'all that are watching live. I think, man, I actually, the first time she actually performed hip hop was at Legacy Conference this year, and that's like a huge audience to perform in for the first time. And she was on the Friday concert, and she absolutely destroyed it. It was like when she got done with the first song, she actually got a standing ovation, and I've never seen that in front of that crowd before. So I kind of had a feeling she was going to be like, this was going to be real dope, but man. Anybody else with any thoughts on Jackie's album? Michaela, you always sticking up for the women.
Yeah. I think the thing about Jackie Hill Perry is the fact that she has the ability to use that spoken word craft and just create a story within it, and you're gripped in and you're pulled into that story. And I just love her ability to do that. Whether it be Oda Lauryn Hill, that was a dope one. Get There, that's the one that Kenny just referenced to. Just her ability to draw you in with her lyrics. She's definitely raised the bar in terms of, because we know Christian hip hop, we want it to be lyrically challenging. And this year, 2014, she brought that to the game with the lyrical content. So that's why I definitely enjoy her project.
Yeah, I think it was probably a tough deal too. I mean, just to be able to kind of fit into that Humble Beast brand as a female artist and be able to like go toe to toe with Jay Givens, Propaganda, Eshawn Burgundy.
Some heavyweights.
Yeah, them was like top
heavyweights
with that. Yeah.
Let me say one more thing. I heard the interview she did with you on the show, right? And she was saying like her goal with this album was to make everybody step their game up. Let me say she definitely raised that bar, dude. Because I mean, every song, I can't say she came weak at all, man.
Okay. Now I got a question for everybody on the call. This is a one-word answer. I don't want no explanation, nothing. This is just yes or no. I'm gonna start with you, Jacob. Jackie Hill, the best female Christian rap artist. Yes or no?
You can't do that. You can't.
I can do it. We doing it. Yes or no? Yes. Sketch.
Yes.
No.
Sketch goes no. Okay. Kenny.
Yes.
Going yes. So we got 2 yeses, 1 no. Michaela.
You can't answer like that's
you not. Gotta answer. Come on, yes or no? Yes or no?
There's so many others that I can't even.
You can say no.
Lyrically, right now, yes.
Yes.
But I can't. I can't. That's hard to answer.
I'm not saying all time. I'm just saying right today.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then yeah. I'm actually saying all time.
Of all time, we can't. Yeah. As of right now.
One album. I'm not ready to give that title away just yet.
Yeah, that time. I can understand that, Sketch.
But yeah, right now I would say she's top.
Okay, so who's the top all time then, Sketch? Because clearly you got somebody else in mind, so I want to know who that person is.
Yeah, Zane or Elsie from Tunnel Rats are pretty high.
Okay.
It feels weird to rank them all there, but I was just, if it was going to be all time and we're basing it off of this one debut project from Jackie, I want to hear some more from her. But she had one of the best albums of this past year. I enjoyed her project more than a lot of other guys this year. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna throw Mahogany Jones in there for the all-time conversation.
Oh yeah.
She got some versatility.
She does.
Yeah. Okay. This was another stacked category right here. This is actually real stacked. The category is Best Comeback Album, and we define this category by artists who have been gone for a significant length of time, and now they're back. So, it didn't have to be a set number of time, but they were gone for a period of time such that you missed. And so that's different for, that could be different for each artist. So it was kind of loose there, but that's really what it was. The artist gone for a significant length of time, but now they're back. So, nominees: Hazakim, Son of Man; Heesun Lee, Stereotypes; Trip Lee with Rise; Tadashi with Below Paradise; Sean Slaughter, Prototype 2. Really tough category. But the winner, Trip Lee with Rise. Michaela, your thoughts on that album?
Yeah, Trip Lee is, I would say, a legend within Christian hip hop, right? And I think when I think about comeback, yeah, you come back with a strong album or a decent album, but you also want to maintain that comeback ability, if that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
you want to maximize on that. So you can come back, but not maximize that with a video or promotions or a tour, and then you just fell off. You just put out a project for not no reason, but you just put out a project and no one remembers you. But Trip, I feel, maximized on his comeback. And what I mean by that, he had the videos, he had the visuals. Even though he wasn't in those visuals for the singles, it was still compelling visuals, right?
Yeah.
And even when he did come out with a video, people loved that video. And also, I think his message, the content of Rise. So it looks like he's accompanying his book with his album titles right now. So we're eventually going to see a book from him, just like The Good Life. So the fact that he's doing that, that maximizes on the comeback ability, right? The message, the content, the reflection, I feel like he challenged us. What I mean by reflection as well, he told a story of Reach Records and just how he kind of started and everything like that. And then he's also talking about, where he is currently. I remember him opening up with you in the interview with this health situation, kind of telling where he is and where his future lies. If he doesn't know if he's going to do music continually, but all he knows, he wants to spread the gospel to people, whether it be preaching or music, but most likely preaching. The fact that my main points are the fact that his message with the content, reflection, and he challenged us and he showed us his direction of where he's going. That's why I feel like that made him a good combat album with Rise. It was a decent project, and it was a trip that, it was also a kind of different trip, because Sweet, we was like, what's this? It was different. kind of went out of his lane a little bit, to give us a little versatility, and I think that's good. But mostly him building on the momentum of Rise and challenging people with that. I think that's what makes it a comeback album.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I personally, when I initially heard he was doing a full project with Gavi, I was a little skeptical about how that was going to work out. Gavi's got he's got some big records, but generally he's the singles guy outside of Rima Soul. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, how is that going to hold up with Trip across a whole album? And I'll be honest, when I heard Sweet, I wasn't really feeling Sweet like that, as a single. So I was really like,
it builds on you.
It builds on you. But my first impression, I was like, I don't know. But what kind of showed me was I had opportunity. Me and Daniel went. For those that don't know, Daniel's one of the producers for the Wado Radio Show. We went to the listening session, one of the listening sessions that they did in New York. And I think just being able to kind of see the two of them interacting and talking about the chemistry that they built and what went into each song, it kind of gave me a whole other appreciation for their creative process. Yeah. And I also heard, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this publicly, but I'm going to put it out there, though. Also heard he didn't let anybody from Reach hear this project until it was almost done. To towards the end of it. You know, so it was kind of like a top secret type of deal that they were working on this whole time. So, you know.
Yeah.
Was
so he never retired.
Yeah. Did y'all think he was really going to retire?
I did.
But he never said retire. We all assumed it was retirement. That was the whole thing. You know, when somebody say we're not rapping anymore, that sounds like retirement. So
I think it threw me off when Ben Washer had the cake. It was like I think 04 to 2012 or some junk like that. So I guess that's what made people, you know, put in that category. Okay, Trip's done. You know, we know he ain't dead. We just know that he done rapping.
Well, here was another thing too. Remember this? Remember when they were on the Unashamed tour? And they made a big deal about this is Trip's last Unashamed. Right. Little did we know that was the last Unashamed tour too. But you know what I'm saying? Well, no. They did one more. They did the 5-city thing for Unashamed 5. But I mean, I thought it was a wrap. I thought he was gonna be pastoring somewhere and writing books and just that was it.
Yeah, but he's still doing that though.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I guess he is still doing that now. He's rapping. But I thought the other thing that was interesting, too, about just this whole situation was the chronic fatigue syndrome. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he'll ever say this publicly, and this is kind of an assumption on my end, but I really think that probably had a lot to do with him stepping back at the time as well. Because it's obvious that he still loves the music. Like, that didn't go anywhere. Like, he's still, like, crazy passionate about it. And I think he was probably just battling that and didn't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want to put it out publicly, just say, hey, you know, I'm going to take a break, you know, try to do this pastor thing. And I think it just, you know, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, but best comeback album, Trip Lee. That's the winner. All right, final category for tonight's Google Hangout. And that is best surprise album. And this was an interesting category because it was really something simple. This was just a project that exceeded expectations. And so, you know, again, this was 2014 was an incredible year for just music coming out in this scene. And so we kind of looked at, you know, based on what were your expectations going into a project's release, and then what you actually got after that. So for some of these albums, you know, some of these people you see named in the category, they were coming off of like just incredible albums, and so the expectation was already high, and in many cases they exceeded it. So I mean, a classic example of that is Swoop, Cinema, one of the nominees. Also, you had Social Club Misfits 2, exceeded a lot of people's expectations. Shy Lynn, Lyrical Theology 2. Doxology, slept on album, but still, you know, a big surprise for many of us here on the team. Another one, and I think this surprised a lot of people, was Kristen Gray's School of Roses. Beliefs, Red Pills, Black Sugar. MC Jin with 1459 was probably the best project he's put out since he's kind of, you know, become, I guess what I would say, a Christian artist or whatever, or, you know, really been more vocal about his faith. Jackie Hill Perry, The Art of Joy, also nominated. And then Reconcile Sacrifice, another really dope album. So obviously there's some stiff competition there, but the winner, Jackie Hill Perry, The Art of Joy. It's her second, you know, project being a winner in a different category tonight. Sketch. You know, why was this album so surprisingly good for you, man?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about her project earlier, but I think it was kind of the thing is that it was just a big unknown. You talked about the first time we really saw her perform was at Legacy. Well, not everybody went to Legacy and got to see that. So
yeah,
we didn't really have a feed to the album from her. We didn't have a video. We didn't have a single that really kind of got you prepped. So it was just this unknown, like, okay, I know she's a dope poet. Can it translate to being a dope MC? And you know, unfortunately, there are tags too with the female title. People don't hold female rappers as in high regard as male artists in general. So she's got that kind of tag coming into the game and not having a lot of advanced evidence for us to really know until we buy the project and listen to it, or download it for free. So to me, I think those are the things that kind of make it a surprise. And then, like I said, just knowing how that transition would work, if she can do one thing well here and move it to another. People of my age range may think of somebody like Bo Jackson. He's a dope football player. Can he play baseball? Or even like LeBron James. He's dope in high school, but can he excel and live up to the hype at the NBA level? And both of those athletes did that, and I think Jackie did it here too. And it was also surprising, like I said, just to give a little bit of different take on the Humble Beast sound, which we've kind of, for a while, has been kind of dominated by Braille and the Beautiful Eulogy crew, which is a little folksy, a little bit artsy. Sometimes it's not as accessible to mainstream audiences, and folks that are looking for kind of a boom bap or a classic hip hop sound have gotten that a little bit from Jay Givens. But Jackie's project really, the sound is there, the content flows that. She's got her ode to Lauryn Hill, which is a great example of her appreciation for classic and good hip hop. So those are things to me that kind of made it a surprise, and a very pleasant surprise.
That's good. That's good. What surprised you guys more? Because I hear two things that really impress people most about this project: lyrics and her flow. Which one surprised you guys the most, lyrics or flow? Jacob, I'll start with you, man.
I would say the flow.
The flow?
I feel like with her in poetry, it was kind of, the lyrics were a little less of an unknown to me. But the flow is like, you know it when you hear it. And yeah, it was very surprising to me.
Kenny, what about you, bro?
Flow. I agree with Jacob. I definitely feel like, given where she is in the spoken word piece, I mean, she had to have the lyrics to go with it, but to see how she translated that into a flow, and it was like a nice, old school hip hop type flow. I mean, it was legit. It was legit.
Mac, what about you? Lyrics or flow? I think you on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry. Definitely the flow. Definitely the flow. But I will say this. I think one thing to work on possibly for the next project is the fluctuation of the voice and things like that. But I definitely would say her flow.
Yeah. Sketch, what about you? Lyrics or flow?
Yeah, flow the same way. And another point that I was going to make that kind of feeds into this, it's almost like when you hear battle rappers and battle raps, like they're really good, but they don't always translate to making the best album and those kind of songs. So hearing her being able to take that poetry, spoken word kind of flow and delivery and switch it up into a song and with a beat behind it and a chorus and that sort of thing was impressive and surprising.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that I think kind of stood out to me just in terms of thinking about how this project was made was that the Beautiful Eulogy or Humble Beast production team, just I think being able to kind of craft a sound for her, and she had never really recorded music before. And it's like most artists, it takes them a couple projects or probably about 20 to 25 songs to really develop a sound. Like I feel like Jackie has a sound. We heard the album had 10 songs, 11 songs on it. And it's like there's like a Jackie Hill sound. Like I think that's like, that's a credit to her for being able to do it. But I just think the production team, like that's phenomenal to me.
Yep.
Well, all right. That concludes the Google Hangout for tonight on 2014's best albums. We will continue tomorrow with a part 2, and we will be discussing lyrical, conceptual, production, artwork, and album of the year. We're hitting all those categories tomorrow. So, again, 2014 was, I mean, Sketch, you mad to keep me honest. I can't really think of offhand a better year for music in the scene. Not in recent years. Maybe if you go back a little bit.
Yeah, it just seems like we say that every year, but maybe just the genre as a whole continues to elevate.
It's getting better, man.
Yeah.
It's getting better, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I think because it's so easy to make music now, you know, you just make it in your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think Trip recorded most of his album at his house. You know, his verses and stuff. Like, you know, so you got guys at that level able to do it. I mean, that, you know, that adds to it. So again, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, same place. If you follow us on Twitter, all of us will be tweeting out the link again tomorrow night. Of course, you can watch it on the Wado Radio YouTube channel. We're talking about best lyrical albums of 2014, best conceptual albums of 2014, best artwork on the album. So I can tell you one album that's not going to be on there is that
Scribbling Idiots.
that Scribbling Idiots is not going to be on there. It's not going to be on there.
It overcame the artwork.
It overcame the artwork. It made the list, but it's not going to be on there for best artwork, though. I promise you that. Best production on the album, and then, of course, the big category, Album of the Year. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, make sure you tune in. Jacob, Sketch, Kenny, Michaela, thank you. And thanks all of you for tuning in. Peace.